biggest supply chain mistakes you see companies make when they work with these big name suppliers and distributors?
There's, man, there is so many different things. Like, we worked with like Walmart and Best Buy and all that kind of stuff. And the biggest thing I took out of that was, and what most people don't realize in logistics world is it's more than just the freight. There's a lot of things behind it. Like, for example, when I was at Rockford, the first Fast and Furious movie came out, and we were the official speakers, amplifier, headset for the vehicles in that movie, right? So we came out with a blister pack set of stuff that people can buy at Walmart or Best Buy, right? And the manufacturing was done overseas. Okay, so they were running behind, and most retailers have, um, a fee or a price. So, for example, Walmart and Best Buy did huge ads in the newspaper that cost them millions of dollars about our product. But if the product's not on their shelves at the time that they've run all these ads, then you get fined. You have to pay them because your product's not in their store, right? So we ran into that, and it's like, hey, you know, the big guys called me in and said, Steve, what can you do to expedite these things? And I'd been in shipping for a long time by then, but I had never chartered an airplane before, and I started chartering airplanes, right? So I had to get airplanes full of product to leave China to get over to the U.S. so that all the product get in the Best Buy stores before that. And a lot of people don't realize it's more than just a transportation. I mean, if that stuff wasn't on the shelves, our company was going to be fined, or they would demand millions of dollars from us because they had spent that and didn't have any product, right? So a lot of times you got to keep that stuff in mind about how the larger retailers work. And if their shelves aren't full or whatever, companies pay for that. And all of a sudden your price has to go up on what you're buying because they have to pay for shelf space they haven't fulfilled. So transportation is a very important aspect of every supply chain, right? I mean, me switching all my ocean containers, think about the change of cost in that too. All that stuff was supposed to move ocean container, but because they fell behind, I had to charter 767 airplanes to bring all this stuff over, right? So it's amazing to work with those people like that. There's a lot of things you have to um, make your system work with their system. For example, our TMS system that we designed, we obviously had to have EDI capabilities, and back then there weren't a lot of companies out there that provided like an attachment or an app or anything you could use to send these EDI transaction sets. We had to come up with the code and make the EDI transaction sets work with what Walmart and Best Buy was giving us, right? So those are the kind of things that transportation or 3PLs have to keep in mind, that shippers and retailers and stuff are going through, when you're trying to fulfill some kind of distribution. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, and the thing is in our position, or in as a logistics service provider, we have a lot of different other departments that we have to speak to. You have to speak to the CFO or the finance accounting department about rates. You have to speak to procurement, who's buying the stuff for the company, about timing, right? And so there's a lot of different parts that logistics have to work with at that company. Or even in the case that I gave you just now, I mean, we had to work with marketing, right? Marketing had to make sure that the advertisements for Walmart and Best Buy were out at a certain time, and that the product was on the shelves on the date that the sale was supposed to happen, right? So, I mean, you're working with a lot of different, 3PLs and transportation and brokers. We're working with a lot of different departments to make something happen, right? So.